At one time, Longport was protected by a town marshal. Then in the 1920s, the Department of Public Safety was formed with Joseph Groves as chief. The three-man department abruptly resigned in April 1927. On the following day, the mayor named Richard R. DePamplis Sr. as chief. The police department was officially established in 1931 with DePamplis as its first chief. He served for over 40 years. His son, Richard DePamplis Jr., then served as chief for another 7 years. Many of the artifacts and pictures in this room were contributed to our museum by the old chief, his son, and their families. When the police department moved out in 1992 from this building, they left behind many old or confiscated items behind and are now part of the display in this room. Originally the kitchen of the Coast Guard building, the police used this room as their dark room. We have many cameras and darkroom equipment used over the years. Our police exhibit contains so much. Street signs, medical signs for the health department. Then we have old police ledgers from the 1920s and the 1930s. And supplies from the civil defense during the 1950s. Other items include equipment for their cars. We have a radar gun, the uniforms for their baseball team back in the 50s. We also have the police wooden batons, a great poster from the FBI, and handcuffs, many different types over the years. Also on this wall are all the equipment used for fingerprinting. In the 1930s, the police chief started a junior police department for the town. The badges at that time were made of metal. By the 60s, they were plastic. Here we have all the applications for children in Longport applying to become members in the 1950s. Longport was the third police department in the United States to have a two-way police radio installed. Ventnor happens to be the first. Keys to summer homes were kept here during the winter from a time back in the 1950s when the police walked through homes in the winter checking for damage or signs of break-in.